Looking at GNC can be really interesting, and you'll never know who pops through the door. It's past 7 o'clock right now, but you never know. Dustin Hoffman could walk through that door, or better yet, Bruce Jenner, or Caitlyn Jenner. Um, what I was really surprised about was a couple weeks before the Olympics, I had three Olympic skeleton guys come in here. These guys they looked amazing. They had to have been in their 20s, but they looked like they were like 30 something, and they just looked like Greek statues. They were in probably the best physical condition I've ever seen anybody in my life. Imagining if you're doing skeleton and you're going down a bobsled track, like face first, that's crazy. These guys looked like they had cojones the size of freaking grandma's meatballs, which you know how big grandma's meatballs are. They're huge. Jesus. But yeah, they were really nice. I had just started working here. Maybe I had been here for a month, so I wish I would have known more about certain things. They were looking for informed products. They wanted products that were basically rigorously tested because they were going to the Olympics, which made me mildly nervous. You know, it's like you don't want to sell somebody a product that would make them fail at some sort of test or whatever, especially at the Olympics. So it's good that GNC has a good amount of products that are informed labeled, where basically they do rigorous testing to it to make sure that everything's on the up and up, basically, as far as anything that would go into you know testing for whether it be the Olympics or hello. um yeah, so that was an interesting meet. I then, after meeting the skeleton team, which I do believe that they were the Brazilian skeleton team, pretty sure, maybe Swedish, I thought it was Brazil. um After meeting them, and these guys were amazing. I mean, talk about dudes that have no fear. Think about it. These guys are going face first down a bobsled track. The the cojones that it takes to go face first, 80, 90, however fast they go, really fast. um and then, honestly, after they came in about 2 weeks ago, I actually had a Jamaican bobsledder come in. Yes, Jamaican bobsled, just like the movie Cool Runnings. Um, I got real excited because I've done a little short documentary on the story behind the Jamaican bobsled team. So it was kind of cool to talk to him about it and talk about some of the training processes. And um, I don't know if you know the true story behind. Oh, I'm not stoned. I'm sick, to be honest. Well, I was sick. Now I'm coming off the butt end of it. I'm tired, more worn out than anything, to be honest. I'm a little worn out, to be honest. Been working a lot, and the winter has been rough. So, but yeah, I don't know about pink eye, but anyways, it was really cool to talk to that Jamaican bobsledder. Let me be honest with you. Like I said, I had done a little documentary on the Jamaican bobsled team, so it was cool to talk to him about that. It was cool to, because I don't know if you all know, the story behind the Jamaican bobsled team is much different than the story in the Cool Runnings movie. Yes, there was a guy that went to the island and found bobsledders, and the interesting thing is though that the guy went there to look at the boxcar racers. He didn't end up finding boxcar racers like in the movie. Sanka was a boxcar racer. He ended up finding two guys that were in the military, the Jamaican Army, I do believe it was, and then a couple other guys. Yeah, late great John Candy. He was one of the best. Um, so the story is a little bit different. They ended up doing a 2-man bobsled at the Olympics, the Jamaicans, and they got like third place. So they got really excited about that, and they're like, "Oh, we should do the 4-man," but they only had 3 men. So what the movie leaves out is that there was no fourth man in the bobsled. What they had to do, they only had 3, and they needed 4. So what they had to end up doing was the guy who was in the army, his brother was there. Dude. Um, yes, people making stupid messages. So what they ended up doing was, uh, the guy's brother was there with him. He had never been in a bobsled, but they ended up using him as their 4th man, which is absolutely insane. Imagine going into a bobsled at the Olympics, being the 4th man and never being in a bobsled before. And the infamous crash that happened, that was after having the brother in there. So, needless to say, it's not as glamorized as the original movie. Like the original movie, there's 4 people and they've all been training, and then they just get in that accident. Well, it was a little bit more complicated than that. That's for sure. So, but it was interesting talking to the Jamaican bobsledder. It was also really cool talking to the skeleton team that was headed to the Olympics. I mean, these guys were headed to the Olympics like 2 weeks out. Can you pay for my BBI? BBL. Easy. It's the luge. Where the money's at. Bobsled looks easy. It's the luge. Yeah, these guys do skeleton. The ones that I met, skeletons where they go face first alone. That's the luge is backwards. Skeletons face first. Yeah. So if you write stupid comments, you're just gonna get hidden. Your comments aren't gonna get viewed. Just so you know. Anyways, that was kind of a cool story about meeting the skeleton guys and some of the Jamaican bobsled team. Just figured I'd share that with you real quick.